Welcome to this week's edition of the MMA Analysis Podcast. I am your host, Lance Fishel, and we got a banger this week. I mean, an absolute banger. But it's just an appetizer leading into next week's card with Norma Dermont, main event, Carlos Felipe, co-main event. A lot of good stuff going on in the UFC right now. They really make you pay to be a fan sometimes, and these next 2 weeks are really going to test the market. We've done this before, but I feel like this is setting the bar these next 2 weeks. If you combined the cards for the next 2 weeks, it's a bad card.
Yeah.
Combine them. There's still no main event. There's still no co-main event. There's barely prelims. Like it's rough, man. You got to pay to be a UFC fan nowadays.
Never has the intro been so apt. It's just like, can we go quick? Because I don't care about anything that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that was like,
intro?
what, 5-6 years ago that we did that?
That was 5 or 6 years ago. It's gone downhill since then.
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out why, right? Like, Wes, I know you always talk because of the ESPN deal, but that makes sense, but it doesn't, because they've been doing a fight every week for the most part for like 5-6 years.
It's actually since the Fox deal. That's when it went downhill.
When they started doing weekly cards, I get it. And there's also, there's the talent in Bellator and PFL is not great. But if you take the top 25% of Bellator and take the top 25% of PFL, those are solid prelim fillers.
Sucked up some of the
that
talent.
we don't have now. So it does kind of flow up. And I know everyone's like, I love the competition. I love that. I ain't got time to watch Bellator, PFL, Legacy, if they LFA, whatever. I don't have time for that. I want everyone in the same org because I can't watch fights on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Like,
you
probably are starting to see that.
You don't watch the NFL and the CFL and the Arena Football League and the XFL. You don't watch all that
Europe.
Yeah. I want it really is the only like main sporting where it is spread out. Like you said, it's NFL, all the best players, MLB, all the best players, NBA, all the best players. It's just MMA that has it spread out. And I understand like fighter pay might even be worse if it wasn't for that. And I do understand, but I like the other day, what was the Bellator main event? Lima and
MVP.
Which I heard was terrible, and like I don't have Showtime, and I purchase Showtime sporadically if there's like this amazing Bellator card. I'm not buying Showtime for 1 month to watch Lima and MVP when there's no other good fights in the card. I'm just not doing it. That could have been even though the fight sucked, like that's a main card fight in the UFC. That's a decent fight when we got Carlos Felipe versus Andrei Arlovsky co-maining and whatever. I don't know what Norma Dermont is. She's a main event. So I think that's the other part of it. There is these orgs that are growing in talent a little bit.
Yeah, my thing with the kind of the ESPN part of it is they got a deal that lets them get away with this now, is what it is. Like they're paid the same amount no matter what. So now all they're looking to do is give ESPN their weekly content, this shit right here, stock the pay-per-views where they, I think, make extra money on buys.
Oh, yeah.
Stock the pay-per-views, give you all this shit for ESPN content on their website. That kind of exasperated the problem of what they were doing over the past 5 or 6 years.
And it even makes sense.
So weird, though, because – no, go for it.
You go first.
Oh,
my point would be better.
It's weird because, I don't know about that. Bryce and Merab, better than any fight on any of the cards over the past 2 weeks, over the next 2 weeks, and it wasn't even contributing to the pay-per-view buys. But
you broke up a little bit.
Those fights on there.
What fight did you say, Brad?
Merab and Moraes.
Oh, yeah.
Like rocked.
Yeah.
Well, here, what I was going to say about like why this is beneficial for ESPN is now how they have pay-per-view set up. So ESPN, people aren't going to subscribe to ESPN Plus because there's a decent co-main event or third fight. That's not going to drive people to purchase ESPN Plus, which that is the main thing for ESPN and the UFC deal is to get subscriptions to ESPN Plus. But if you have this giant stacked pay-per-view card, you have to purchase ESPN Plus just to buy the pay-per-view.
Yep.
So for ESPN, they also don't care if this card this week sucks and it's on ESPN Plus or whatever. That doesn't affect ESPN because they weren't going to get more subscribers out of this card no matter what was on it. Now they put on Conor McGregor or these big cards and all this. Then people are doing it because like, oh, well, it's only $10 for like, I do this now and then I get the pay-per-view. What's the big deal? I need to watch this pay-per-view. So it makes sense for the UFC to do it this way because they make their money off the buys because, like you said, it's a fixed amount from ESPN. And it makes sense for ESPN because these huge pay-per-views are going to drive their subscriber numbers up, which leaves people like us, which I call idiots, watching Norma Dermont on a main card and technically paying for it.
But, like, not watching, really.
Yeah, and look, I quit giving them pay-per-view money a long time ago after I bought, like, 10 through 70 something full price every time. When the product started going downhill and shit, maybe not all of it, but the amount of good product they was getting, I quit buying pay-per-views. And a person like me, I would subscribe to ESPN Plus anyway, me personally, like for the soccer and the football and all the shit that they put on there. I would subscribe to it anyway, but the lacrosse, the NHL deal now,
Yeah, that's pretty wild. You guys are getting fucking NHL,
but like
included in ESPN Plus. That's wild.
As far as like how they set up to where you have to have a ESPN subscription to order the paper. I mean, that's a genius business move by both of them. Like it worked. Like Lance said. A Conor McGregor pay-per-view, everybody, it's like $7. It's like $7 for a month.
They're giving you guys a free pay-per-view coming up.
Oh,
in Canada we have to pay for it. It's on pay-per-view in Canada.
If you're willing to shell out $265 or $65 for a pay-per-view, you're not even going to think about that ESPN subscription. It's not even in your mind. But I will say, ESPN Plus, for what it costs, might be the best deal on the planet.
Oh, it is. There's not a better.
Tremendous.
Definitely sports. There's nowhere.
When you combine it, the combo with Disney Plus and fucking Hulu,
it's like $4 for ESPN.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like just ESPN alone, like there's not another sports streaming site that's anywhere close. I mean,
no.
NBC has the Premier League, but they split that up now. And you got to buy Peacock and have NBC to get all of the Premier League games. But that ESPN Plus is a great fucking
bargain.
Yeah, and I will say, you mentioned pay-per-view quality. The pay-per-view quality is, since the ESPN deal is this, like, because of how they're doing this, like
most of them, definitely.
Most of them, yeah. There could be sometimes when they're bad to us as like huge MMA fans who watch every week, but they may be better to like the general public. If there's certain fighters like take a Misha Tate, if you put in a pay-per-view, nothing to us, but Misha Tate is still well known, and people like that who that fight might mean to us, but it is for others. But the pay-per-views in general, like they've been phenomenal. Like I haven't ordered a pay-per-view and felt guilty in a while because I do buy all the pay-per-views, and it's not because I'm a UFC supporter or care about fighter pay or any of that. I'm lazy, and if you tell me to use a website and I have to click the X button more than once, that's just too much for me. I don't have that kind of
lazy and bad with technology.
You got to have a good computer and the right site. And
I got a work computer.
You can seriously, you can literally get 1080p HD fucking pay-per-view streams now that might rarely pop out.
He's gonna get you, Wes. He's gonna get you.
Lance tried that once, and he got an email from HR on Monday, and so that was all she wrote for trying to stream.
I've streamed some stuff, not like UFC maybe once or twice here and there, but like boxing, if it's about boxing pay-per-view or those stupid Jake Paul fights, and I just always have friggin' issues. Like always, like it's like, oh, it froze again. Oh, I need a new site. Oh, this pop-up. I ain't about that. I'd rather not watch.
I know most people don't want to hear it, but this sport was really never better as a viewing it is when the UFC had an event once a month. You had all the other regional shit going on, and you had the literal best of the best on a card once a month.
Yep.
It was never better. It was, if you wanted MMA every week, you could still find it. There was Friday night fights every single week. I mean, Bellator was starting to come around, and you could get Bellator on a Saturday night or Friday night or whenever the fuck they were on. I like a lot of MMA. Don't get me wrong, but I just think, like you said, Lance, you want all the talent in one place. Back then, most of the top talent was in one place. Now we just have thousands of fucking fighters that, when they're just marginal, people are like, "Oh, they belong in the UFC." Every week we watch Contender Series, and all these MMA journals are like, "Oh, that dude deserves to be in the UFC. He's UFC ready." I'm like, what the fuck are y'all watching?
Compared to what's in the UFC right now, it's actually not a terrible thing.
That's the problem. That is the problem.
UFC caliber is a different story. And I think for me, if it's like, it wasn't for gambling, I would not want cards every week. Like, that is the only thing. Like, this card this weekend, I would not watch it if I was not gambling on it. I just wouldn't. Like, maybe after I'd watch the fights I care about, but I would just, like some sports I don't want to watch. Like, if I don't watch all the baseball games, I'll check the results after and no worries. But in MMA, we feel the need to watch everything.
I would watch it, but if I wasn't gambling on it, like this shit, present day, it would be like almost a background thing. I would be watching college. I would be watching college football, paying attention to that probably a little more. To where when I'm gambling on this shit, it's college football that's on the other screen. And
because I would be okay for bi-weekly. I think, like, if you take 2 fight night cards, make it one, pretty damn good card, right? And then maybe you do like I wouldn't mind doing bi-weekly Saturday cards, and then like a Tuesday or Wednesday card, whether it's Contender Series or it's 5 fight main cards that are decent. So you're not taking all the talent away. But like Wednesday, you have a 5 fight card that the week there isn't a Saturday one, and then the following week you have a Saturday, and the following week you have a Wednesday. But it's all about viewers. It doesn't matter about quality because it's not driving any additional revenue. And when it comes down to it, what people don't understand about the UFC regarding fighter pay, fight cards, all this stuff, they're a business. They don't give a shit. Like, their job, like everyone who works in the corporate
every last
world,
ounce.
That's why they need collective bargaining.
Anyone that works in a corporate setting, like if it's sales and you're like finance, like all this stuff, and you're together, like when I'm working on deals, right, for my company, our job is to get as much out with as little as possible. That's every job. That's every company that you're working for in this world. It's, okay, what do we have to, like when you're hiring somebody, right? Okay, what's the lowest we can go to get someone in this role? That's the discussion every TA manager is having with the hiring manager, right? Okay, how much do you need to get the person you need? All right, we can go here. That's low enough. Okay, good. Like, it's not about, hey, how do we make sure this person's super happy when they first start? Like, will they take 80? Will they take 80? Like, can we get with 80?
I mean, this is a little different. This is a little different than a corporate.
But is
until
it?
the government tells you that what you're doing is illegal, they're gonna.
This big. You can look around at all the other major sports in the world. Yes, this is a little different, and it's on the fight. And the amount of fights and fighters that are going on and moving around and in and out of the UFC, that's a problem too. You can't focus. Well, I mean,
they're not losing the pay-per-view draws. They're not losing the guys, the people that you're going to turn the TV on to watch. Like, you think losing Ryan Bader, Phil Davis, like, is that hurting Mutanch?
But they're also not creating more guys that are those pay-per-view draws. Like, if it happens, it happens.
But they're not because they're going to Bellator or PFL.
No, but
not yet.
Well, like you said at
the
beginning of this, you would rather have all the best talent in the world in one org. And you know how that could probably happen faster than anything else? Collective bargaining, where fighters are making good money, they can train properly, they can the monopoly the UFC has. It's good in ways, it's bad in others, man. And they're always going to get away with it when you have all of these fucking morons that are eating up Dana White Contender Series, and he just pumping bodies in there and giving them content. Even MMA journalists, they can go around and talk all the shit they want about fighters deserve more pay and this and that, and yet they go to the press conferences and they suck Dana's cock over and over and over, and he just keeps churning out the content for them. That's how they get paid. Clicks on
and with the fighters, they're not going to collectively bargain.
No.
I really don't think nothing changes unless the government says what they're doing is illegal, which
could
happen.
There's no union.
That's the only way.
There's unions in sports leagues besides MMA, right? There's no union fighting for their rights. They're not figuring out minimum salaries that make sense. Like in baseball, the minimum salary, it's almost got to be up to $300K, I think, for baseball, and those are obviously bigger rosters. That
Hockey's
number goes up every year.
750.
Yeah,
Well, there's
you need
more players and more games too, but yeah.
And you need that it never happen unless your biggest stars are the ones that are starting it. And you think Connor or John Jones or hell no.
Like I said,
it will take
government's the
government
only
action.
one that's going to do anything.
Bellator cannot pay Connor. Like, let's say Connor's a free agent, he can't go to Bellator. They don't have pay-per-view.
No, he would do it by himself.
I mean,
because
if they
he's
had
that
Connor,
big
they
enough.
would have pay-per-view though.
But would they even sell just the Bellator name, even with Connor on it? Could they still sell? Maybe
co-promote.
It would be like
they would do it how they do
UFC
Fedor.
presents Aldo versus Faber.
It's how Bellator would do with Fedor. Bellator presents Fedor's fight, and he makes most of the money.
M1 Global.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one watched. Who cares? When you're in your prime and you're a draw, you have to be in the UFC to make your real money. Connor wouldn't have the money he has if he was in Bellator these last 10 years.
I mean, if Connor got out of his contract, he could put on his own pay-per-views, and he would make more
He's
money.
also the one-off. He's the only one who's ever. John Jones, he couldn't do that. He's in jail. Like,
well, those are two different things.
But Connor's the only one that has that draw where he can literally start his own promotion and be successful. No one else can do that.
Yeah, I mean, John
Jones
really could have never done that.
No.
Connor's that's what I'm saying.
What
And we talked about, they just kind of fell into Connor. They're not like building guys up and shit. Connor made himself outside of the UFC. It enhanced once he got to that stage, but he made himself. The UFC didn't make him. But like, when's the last true star the UFC has made? Like, it's content now, man. And it's
I feel like you have to go back to like Chuck and Tito for guys that the UFC made.
Built up and made into a rivalry and stars.
Well, there's a lot of luck involved though too, because the UFC has put their promotion behind certain guys and really, really pumped them up.
It's true. They've tried Sean O'Malley lately. There's guys
he's just a garbage fighter. That's
that's the problem. There.
You had that is the problem is not all the guys had that left. Like Connor. You got to knock guys out and show out.
That's also the other thing is the reason that Dana White's Contender Series exists is because they're terrible at evaluating talent. So they're just like, well, we're going to throw as much of this shit at the wall as we can, and maybe some of it'll stick.
Get some bodies that stick.
Yeah, it's tough. But all right, let's move on to
let's get on with it.
Let's move on to last week's card. And we took enough time up. Why don't we, instead of just reading through every fight, maybe talk about some of the highlights that we saw. I think on the prelims, anything? Johnny Edwards hilarious. Andrade killed a man. Devontae Smith sucks. That's all I got for the prelims. What do you guys got?
What the hell? I can't barely even remember some of these.
I did Eduardo Perez. I did Egger and Young.
The Malarkey money was nice.
Like, yeah.
That was nice. We'll take that.
Great performance from Becci.
Oh, we gotta give at least 10 seconds to the greatest athlete that the UFC has ever seen.
She's great.
That shit was hilarious, though.
She is great.
How's nobody ever done a gif of like Becci and Kevin Randleman when their jumps side by side? That's what I want to see.
Randleman's literally jumping as high as her fucking head. And she's like 3 inches off the ground.
She's an athlete. Don't mess with her. Sean, anything to add from the pre? We can cover the main card more in depth, but
yeah, Perez by sub. I guess some people grabbed that ticket. It opened at like plus 2,000. Was available like 1,600 for a while, 1,000 for a while. I guess we should have known with Eduardo, but
I hate when those huge props are obvious afterwards. What were we thinking?
But
I got the round like 2. I didn't get the sub, so I was halfway.
That was something that I thought Brad would have been on.
Like the easiest bet on the entire card was Perez and Andrade. Literally the easiest bet the whole card.
Get it out of the way.
That's what I had. I had that exact
plus
parlay.
money. Yeah, I did too. Plus money.
thinking of we'll move to the main card now. And speaking of the easiest hit on the card, we could not figure out what to do with was that consensus? It was consensus, or was it consensus?
That was
Yep.
consensus.
Yep.
So on the pre-show, we couldn't figure out what to do for consensus. We couldn't agree, and we were gonna pick something else. I don't remember what it was. And as we were breaking on the fight, I pull up best fight odds. I was like, Hernandez KO 1 is plus 365. And we all bet it while we were like recording the show. And that ended up being maybe the easiest plus 365 I've ever hit in my entire life. It was not in doubt from like a minute in. Like the dude was, you could just tell. And like, maybe that's a thing to do, right? Because they used to not have those like KO and round 1 together for one guy. It's something that's kind of new where you can do like sub round 1. But when you think of like these one-sided like minus 500s, and if there's a clear way, if you're getting plus 300, plus 350 on quick finishers, like maybe there's something there.
Yeah, like a confident, like I know I can beat the shit out of this guy, Alex Hernandez, is pretty fun. Like when he knows, like
when there's nothing coming back, he gives his confident self,
he's
and he actually throws and does damage.
Yeah. I just had him by KO. I think it was around even money or something. I wasn't on the show last week, didn't get to check it out. That was a great bet. That was an absolute great bet.
Yeah, that one.
Nicely.
That one felt good. And Jason Lowe said Perez was 13-1 at the Australia book.
God damn!
Wild.
That's got to be our boy Aussie Fight Fan.
It could be. I don't know his real name.
He's always looking for them props. Those fucking 20-1, 15-1 props.
I figured he'd have some like really outrageous, raunchy shit to have into that text if it was him, though, because he's usually pretty wild. He's a wild man.
That's fair.
Yep.
Oh God. All right.
Also, that right hand, that right hand that Hernandez finished with, that launched that dude's body into another state.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where it literally lifted him up off the ground. It was fucking awesome.
Hernandez is one of those guys that like you think he's going to be better than he is, but he's really not. And when I think that about someone, I want to watch Hernandez fight the Mike Breedens of the world every single fight.
Give him bums.
Yeah, absolute bums. I'm totally down for it. You get lines like that, like
give him a contender series guy on 2 weeks' notice every single time out.
Yes.
Straight up. I am fine with that. That's what we're here for. That's what they're there for.
Yep.
Yep. All day. Jocko defeated Serkinov by split. We were along on this one. I didn't think Serkinov completely forgot how to wrestle, but apparently he did. So
it's Canadian. We forgot about that when we were discussing this fight.
They're unbettable. Unbettable Canadians.
He didn't seem like he was tired, real tired or anything. I mean, his body looked funny though at 185, man. Like he didn't even look like he was proportioned properly, man. Like
the weirdest part was when he was like shadow boxing in the back, like warming up in the back. His elbows were all like puffed out, like he had.
He didn't look right, man.
Yeah, it was weird.
He did not look right. His body just did not look right, man. But if you can't get Jotko down consistently, like, come on, dude. I can't understand that. Serkinov's got to be on the just stay the fuck away, just as far away from him as possible at this point.
Yeah, he's toast. Nico Price defeated Howboy by decision. Ooh. I was let down. Man, I was let down in this fight. I thought this was one of those fights that was going to be awesome no matter what, and I thought it was okay. And also, I didn't think there was a chance in hell that if Nico Price was going to win, I was not going to cash that inside the distance plus 130. I thought that was an absolute steal, and I'm watching this. I was like, nah, not like this.
I had the under, and it was.
Why are you just laying on? Yeah, this was my only under that didn't hit all night. Fucking
yeah.
I had a little under.
Punch him.
I had Nico inside the distance and shocked that he could not get, especially the way Cowboy was fighting. Cowboy was actually aggressive. Like he was getting set up to get fucked up, and Nico fought smart for like the first time in his life.
Sad.
I gotta say that like I was mad I lost my bet, but like I like Nico Price, not just his fights though. He just seems like a good dude, and like I want him to win fights. I want him to keep being able to fight in the UFC, and you know it is good on him too. Like Cowboy, even with how he is now, he's dangerous. Like, that could kill you at any moment. And Nico, the second round was rough, but like he took the path to victory that it needed to take, and good on him.
We need wild man Nico back though.
The best thing about that fight was before when Cowboy came out crying, and literally my entire timeline was like, "Is Cowboy having twins? Is Cowboy got another kid on the way?" My whole timeline was just nothing but Cowboy kid jumps as he cries walking to the cage.
Poor little fella. All right, then we had middleweight division. Kevin Holland, no contest versus Kyle Daukaus. I know we all had kind of differing opinions, and I even agreed with the opinions that were against mine, if that makes sense.
I could see both ways.
The ref fucked up, right? Like, there was a clear headbutt that ended the fight. It might have ended the fight 30 seconds later, but that was a clear headbutt that ended the fight. Referee fucked up completely, didn't stop the fight, let it go on. The two lines of thinking are, should Kevin Holland grab a loss because the referee fucked up completely? Or should he get a no contest when really he shouldn't have got a no contest because of how it happened? And that's kind of the dilemma here. To me, even though maybe it was the wrong decision because the ref fucked up, the outcome being a no contest to me was the right call if you erase the referee being a moron, because Kevin Holland should not get a loss because of a headbutt. That was kind of my stance, which is almost in the middle in a way, right? Like, yes, that was the wrong call to make because the fight kept going, but really it was the right call to make for the fighters and what happened in the outcome. That was my stance.
But in any other sport, can you just make up shit as you go?
Yeah,
that
was my big problem. I had a massive problem with Sean Shelby in the middle of the discussion with the officials. Yeah. That's bullshit, right?
If there was any faith in the when you apply, like you try to get something overturned, if there was any chance of like them not fucking this up, they probably should have just went with the original win.
And did the no contest later once it goes.
And you just fix it. I mean, that's the way it goes. Like, in other sports, if a ref fucks up, it's over.
And that's what happened here. And it's not like Holland didn't like stop right then and there. He continued to fight. Dukakis continued to work into a sub and shit. I get that it was the headbutt that caused Holland to be hurt, but he still kept fighting. Dukakis still kept fighting. The fight went on.
Nuts.
Yeah,
nuts. I will say, I'm still okay with it because there was a clear penalty.
Yes.
A clear referee fuck up that we took care of on fight night. And I'm okay for that.
How it usually works, though, is the call stands there. Even after he had looked at it and they had told him what happened, Mergliata still wanted to give him the win. They had to take him out of the cage, all of them get around him, and pretty much change his mind.
Yeah.
So they changed the guys in the cage decision. What I think should have happened is what always happens. Dukakis got the win. He appealed. He would have got a no contest.
Maybe Mike Rodriguez didn't.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows anymore?
If I just take away all that happened after the headbutt, if you were to just watch the headbutt and stopped watching and said that was a no contest, you would be okay with that.
I would have been fine with it if it was stopped right then and there.
But it wasn't. And Kevin Holland shouldn't pay for stupid referees. And maybe this is the first time in MMA history that we actually came out of a weird situation with the fighter not getting fucked because of referee being a moron.
Yeah.
The worst part about it is it's the one time where the fighter didn't get fucked, but they got to the right decision by a completely fucked up process.
That's pure MMA. The sport that is
terrible
MMA.
Precedent. It's a terrible precedent moving
I
forward.
agree.
I know it would have been rare to happen, but what happens if Holland somehow throws some stupid shit, knocks out Dukakis? Like,
just
right
an
after
amazing comeback to almost get finished by a headbutt, and then he gets a KO. Like, he's riding high after that.
He's going to be on Sports Center. Everybody in the MMA world will be like, "Oh my God, what a comeback! He got dropped by a headbutt and came back and won." Would it have been a no contest then? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I get it.
Playing with house money. There you go.
I'm taking the rules out of it and referee responsibility.
I get what you're saying.
All that.
Like,
I'm just saying there was a vicious headbutt that stopped a fight, and I'm okay with the outcome after that vicious headbutt that stopped a fight being a no contest because that's what it should be. I will say this, and maybe this is my hot take. I thought Kyle Daukaus looked like absolute dog shit. And I think Kevin Holland would have beat the shit out of him if that fight would have kept going before the headbutt. Daukaus could not take him down. He kept holding this weird position because he was scared to get hit. He held that position with his arms and didn't even try to do anything for like 30 seconds. And I felt like, I don't know. I thought he was going to gas out and get his fucking ass kicked. He could not get the takedown.
It was going to happen.
He could not get the takedown. We're a couple minutes in. He was 0 for 4 or whatever.
Holland does some stupid shit, though. So he might have just gave a
I don't know, man.
But yeah, it wasn't a good performance.
Until that headbutt, I was thinking this bet's fucked. He cannot take him down. He's going to gas out. Holland never gasses out, and Holland's going to beat the shit out of him the last 2 rounds. That's how I thought.
I was feeling pretty good about my
Wes is always feeling good on fight night.
He couldn't take him down.
Hey, I will say that one good thing maybe happened is if you watch Tuesday night, Tyone stopped that one fight where the dude got headbutted and hurt, and he immediately stopped it and checked on him and shit like that. So maybe they just start catching shit a little.
Yeah, maybe stuff like
doing their job better.
The refs start paying attention during the fight. You know,
Herb will never catch anything. I think I swear I think that dude's like legally blind in one eye or some shit.
It's
cataracts, man. That's what
Herb's the worst. He's beyond bad. I will say this. I don't know if the line's not going to be what it was. It's not going to be Kevin Holland minus 175. If you're giving me plus money on Kevin Holland or even money, all in. Daukaus can't wrestle. He just can't. He doesn't know how to do it. Can't do it.
With Johnny Hendricks and
Kevin
Holland's going to be a top 10 wrestler.
I think thinking Holland is some kind of great defensive takedown artist now over watching a couple minutes of him right there.
No, opposite.
Good luck with that.
No, I don't think Holland's takedown defense really improved at all. Maybe a point or two. I think Daukaus is way worse than we all think he is or thought he is. I think Daukaus sucks. I think that's the conclusion I've come to.
I just think if you're getting plus 150 against Kevin Holland with almost anybody, you got
to take it. But if Holland's plus 120 in the rematch,
lines it's a big. I'm not laying juice on Daukaus against Holland.
Definitely
Absolutely,
he's the weaker half of the Daukaus brothers.
Absolutely, yeah. His brother's legit.
His brother's dead though. His brother has literally died.
I gotta agree with you. I think they might have gave him something.
Is Lance gonna get Daukaus?
Top 5?
He's not. He's not top 5 for one. We're back at that. Derek Lewis has no
loss. We're back to using that now. Huh?
Yeah. After he beat Curtis Blades, we got the one freebie of beating a top 5 guy. And Curtis Blades sucks. I think we see that he's a trash can.
Yeah.
That's too much. We don't need to harp on that. Main event,
it's tightening
total
up
garbage.
now, though, Lance. It's tightening up. Lewis is only plus 120 in that one now.
Yeah, but why would you bet a Derek Lewis fight straight? You gonna take Dubronx by decision too? What is the inside the distance? Is it posted yet?
Oh, that line won't be out yet. No. That won't be out till like a week before the fight.
When's that fight?
I have no idea.
There.
It's months.
Here it is. Oh yeah, they just have that one plus 120. The main event was so bad, I literally can't tell you anything that happened in the last 3 rounds. I completely just stopped.
Kavanaugh ruins another.
I think I was playing a board game when this happened.
So we've talked about this before. Johnny Walker's holes were being too wild, being too crazy, leaving himself open. The problem is the reason Johnny Walker has been successful is because of those exact same things. So now if you take out, you're trying to fix a couple things he does bad that's cost him fights, and you're removing everything he does well. Now all you got a guy who isn't doing anything he's good at and is a little less he's not going to get knocked out. He's less susceptible to a knockout. That you don't change guys' entire game plan. He's a top 10 fighter in the world. You don't say, let's just throw everything you do in the trash can and start over. You change, you make all little tweaks. That was aggravating because I like Johnny Walker. He is entertaining. He is fun. And everything that made him not just fun, but good. He is good. He fucks up, he busts up, but you can't deny Johnny Walker. He's a top 10 fighter in the world. He is a good fighter. Is he good anymore? If he doesn't have knockout power and he's not being aggressive, is he good?
Not if look. Kavanaugh running fun Johnny Walker. Like, it's just another example of like, just stay the fuck away from this guy. Can we quit propping up some dude that literally lucked into a once in a lifetime fighter? Like, what else has this guy fucking done? Like, I'll never understand the fucking slobbing for that guy. But Lance is right. Like, Johnny Walker is what he is. He's got to be that ride or die fucking guy. Either get a dude out of there, or you're going to probably get caught and get knocked out. That's fine. The dude's good enough. He's got the physical attributes to beat most guys. Like, I think if he just fires against Santos, like Santos is walking on fucking 2 bum knees and shit. Dude ain't got no legs and shit. You can't go in there and bomb on that guy a little bit. Like, we've seen him hurt. He's like 37 now or something. Like,
it's funny. And the announcers kept saying, like, well, he's got to watch out for this. That's why he's doing this, because his power. I'm like, yeah, his only chance to win was to be Johnny Walker. You got an old man coming off a couple losses. You bum rush him and make him feel he's in a fight. And I'm not an MMA coach. I don't know anything about it. I might be able to, help you with your takedowns a little bit. But I'm not going to be able to teach you striking or give you game plans. But I'm also not a moron. So sometimes just, I say at work all the time, and I'm like, they bring me in because I make everything simple because I'm an idiot. And the simple way is the easy way. And I think fighting is kind of the same way. As if Thiago Santos is a better fighter than Johnny Walker, which I think we can agree on, technically overall better fighter. So if you have a better fighter across from you, your only chance is to catch him. The best way to catch him is to throw punches at his face, not back up and circle. Simple.
And we've seen what happens to a lot of dudes when Johnny Walker throws punches to their faces. Like, he can knock dudes out. Like, get the fuck away from SPG, Johnny Walker. What the fuck are you thinking?
Garbage.
His strategy, like Kavanaugh, was basically Brian Caraway.
He told him to point fight.
But for one,
he literally told him.
Yeah.
Toast, baby.
He literally told him, win this fight on points, Johnny. He's telling him in the corner, we're going to win this fight on points. Like, what are you doing? Johnny Walker's not beating this dude on points, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Master strategist John Kavanaugh now,
I mean,
Jesus.
He needs to go train in the shoot box. That's what he needs. He's aggressive Brazilians.
Get him with Glover in the 2-car, and
garage.
dude might be a champ next year.
Well, get him with Dubronx. If anyone knows how to be super, super aggressive while also being smart, it's Dubronx. Like, fight with a guy like that who you contain your fucking nut job as shit.
Y'all's boy, Lance, your boy, you like to have a lot of conversations with the old Magic Man's talking like Dubronx loses like 7 guys in the lightweight division, bro. Like,
he loses to no man on this earth.
I had to talk to
Learn.
I think that's madness. I want you to name me a couple guys that Dubronx loses to at this point.
I am favoring Dubronx over any human. Any human. I mean, I understand.
He chokes out Hagano.
I know you are. I know you are.
I understand his thought process. With how Dubronx is, anyone can beat him on a given night. And I won't say anyone. If you look at the top 5, 6 guys, well, 3 or 4,
really?
I'll say, right?
Really anymore,
3,
though?
4.
Well, anyone can catch him. Anyone can put him out. He is hittable, right? And he has seen that. Like Gaethje, Poirier, they could win, but saying they should all be favored over him. Like, Beneil Dariush isn't beating Dubronx if he had one arm. Like, if Dubronx is like, all right, let me make this fair. Dariush, he's what, 4th or 5th? What's Dariush doing to Dubronx?
He's 3rd.
I think most of the guys at that weight have I think he's favored over anybody. Like, anybody in that weight, like, yes, there might be a couple dudes down there that's any fight.
He'll finally get his due if he gets rid of Poirier. That's when he'll finally get his due.
The whole quitter thing is still there. How do you watch that Mike Chandler fight and say Dubronx a quitter? The man went from 6 feet under, getting bombed on by one of the hardest hitters in the division, to literally knocking him out 10 seconds in the second round. If that's a quitter, give me a break. And it wasn't just that he finished in that second round. That second round started, you looked at Dubronx, he looked a fresher and more confident fighter when those two started the second round. Chandler was the
Survive
one
the
that was
storm.
backing him.
That's the thing though. Like even the guys that can land that big punch on Bronx, we've just seen that he can take it and recover, come back. That wasn't Bronx fucking 8 or 9 years ago. He
No,
found a
that's
way
Tupac.
out. That guy's he is just different, man. He's fucking different. Like all these people I see that think Poirier is gonna I love Poirier, man. That dude's one of my favorite fighters out there. He's a good fucking dude. Come on, man. Like all of these people picking Poirier, like when is
There's going to be a lot of money on both sides, I think, in that fight.
But Wes, how much money? Let's look at the last 5 years. On this podcast, we could buy a house with the money we won on Bronx.
we probably should have been winning even more. Like we're even the idiots that wasn't just like more.
We're betting
just
enough.
more.
Well, I think
more
for me,
more.
I'm so emotionally invested in that man as the founding father of the
You got to keep it. You got to keep it kind of down. So
yeah, I mean, how many times have I argued that Bronx not a quitter, that he's the best at all this? Like I've been saying that since that man choked out Efrain Escudero.
Me and you
We've been saying it since before you believed it.
For a while, you know me. I go from actually believing it to knowing it's not true, but arguing it to the death.
We was having that argument with our boy Chris.
Addy.
Well, Maddie and our boy Chris that makes fun of Bellator all the time too. He used to. Yep. We argued with him about the whole esophagus thing for fucking ever. And
Yep.
Finally,
the thing with a guy like Bronx is you can't teach his offensive skill. Like, yes, maybe he had some quitting issues and he had some, not fighting through stuff, all that stuff. But his skill level since he was 21 has been better than most. And then when he developed the striking, as soon as I started seeing him strike, I was like, okay, maybe I wasn't fucking around. Like this guy's, he's killing people.
Sean's right too. As much as his striking looks so much better, like his wrestling is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's like few Brazilians, legit like Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys most of them that got good, like Pedro Munoz and all those guys. They got really good hands and turned into kickboxers.
Yeah, I would say the only one that's similar, but I'd say Bronx is better, is Jacare got pretty good with his takedowns, but Bronx looks like an All-American wrestler.
He gets takedowns like an All-American wrestler.
Don't you dare.
No, I'm just saying he does the upper body stuff. Jacare was good at takedowns because he was just a fucking athletic freak.
Yeah. He does. Bronx has done it. Bronx where those upper body takedowns are coming because he's improved so much on his positions in the clinch as well, where that actually used to get him beat up a little bit. And he's really filled out in the weight class where he's going to be stronger than Poirier. I haven't seen someone that's overpowering Bronx yet, like in the clinch and stuff like that. And a lot of that is just positional. Like if you think about wrestling, it's not who's the physically stronger guy with the bigger biceps. It's who can get the best position and has the best wrist control. And it's kind of similar with that. And we don't need to talk about Bronx all day. You can't get us started. But Dustin Poirier is a fucking dead man. I hope he's got a will out. I feel bad for the charity that they're going to lose the founding father of their charity. But
I mean, if we're not going to talk about Bronx, does that mean we're going to talk about Glover?
Soon.
Ooh, soon.
Garage weight. See, Glover kind of grew on all of us. He didn't.
Absolutely.
We weren't all OG Glover fans. It was when he started getting murdered and then started coming back.
I've talked about Glover way back, even on Twitter with fucking Adam Martin about
Kyle coming in and destroying Kyle Kingsbury.
Just about how long we used to talk about Glover like outside of the UFC and when he was going to get there and shit and his visa and training with Chuck and shit. Like that's how long ago.
I remember all that. I knew him. I just wasn't a fan.
You weren't.
When I became a fan of Glover Teixeira? It was that UFC countdown show at the garage, and Glover was in a fucking trash can.
Dude, I smacked in a trash can.
With the 12-year-olds.
It was the best shit. That was the start of it, man.
They're like taking the camera sideways, and it's just Glover and this like 15-year-old sitting in a trash can. I was like, this my dude.
We've been doing the bit for like 6 years.
God. And he was doing it. He was living in Danbury. That's where my parents. My parents are from Danbury.
Yep.
So
big Trasher fans.
Oh God, fucking Glover. All right, good. I'm glad we took a lot of time. And thanks for all the comments from Jason, Hyperblue, Frank, everyone commenting. Appreciate it. I do enjoy these episodes. I think everyone breaks down fights. Everyone does fight interviews and stuff like that. I do enjoy just kind of shooting the shit and do ourselves. I talk for a living, so I can sit in here and talk all day.
Here for the name. You won't get a lot of analysis here.
And fun fact, my wife actually is the one that created the name of the podcast. Fun fact, when it was me and Ivan.
Very original.
You and Ivan.
Yeah, it was
interviewing fighters.
Wow.
It was originally the UFC Insight. And that's
Ivan like 12 when y'all started this or something?
He was like 18 I think like 17, 18.
He had to be real young. Yeah.
He was really young, and I did literally 99% of the talking on the shows. It was basically Ivan going, Lance, what do you think about this? And I would break down the fight. And then we started doing interviews. And we were doing here and there. I interviewed like Filthy Tom Lawler, bunch of random guys, Dennis Bermudez. And then I don't know how we did it. So it was right after the Ian McCall Mighty Mouse fight that had all the controversy in it because it should have been a draw. I interviewed Ian McCall and Mighty Mouse the following week, right after this happened on back-to-back days. And I'm thinking, like at that point, I was like, this is cool. I'm just a fan. I was kind of new into this. And I was like, it was pretty fucking cool interviewing Mighty Mouse and Ian McCall right after they were like the headline of this big thing and all that. So that was
It's all been downhill since then.
It's really, I probably did like 30 of these interviews with the fighters. I never enjoyed it. And it wasn't a nerves thing. I think you guys know me well enough. I don't get nervous about talking or speaking and any of that stuff. I felt like a douche. Like, I really did. I was like, so what do you think of the and it's like, give me a break. Like, I could never do that. And the one interview that I had a lot of fun with is I interviewed Stitch. Stitch Duran. And we ended up talking for like 5 minutes about why and how wrestlers during matches when they bust their nose up that we stick tampons in our nose. And that was probably the only interesting part. Me and Stitch Duran talking about tampons was probably the highlight of all the interviews I did.
I feel like the least interesting thing about every fighter is their fighting career. Like you're never going to find out anything interesting about them from that. But some of them are somewhat interesting people outside of that.
Yeah.
Yep. It would seem like that's how it would feel. You'd almost want to have a regular person conversation with someone because they'd probably be kind of cool to talk to. But you got to ask them all those fucking just cookie cutter fucking fight questions. Like, no. Yeah. Not for me.
Yep. All right. Let's move on to the card, and we can move through this one.
Do we have to?
Rather quickly. Starting out lightweight division, we have Steve Garcia taking Charlie Ontiveros. Nishan?
Kind of a weird fight. Ontiveros is going down to 155. He last fought at 185. Usually fights at 170. Garcia, I don't know what weight he should be at because he fought mostly at bantamweight, then couldn't make that, fought at 145, and then he fought at 155. I think Ontiveros is definitely going to be bigger. Probably has more power, but he's definitely a lot less skilled. Ontiveros, he's got some power, but he also likes to get finished. So instead of taking a side, I think I'm going to play doesn't go decision. It's like minus 205. Put that in a parlay. I mean, Ontiveros inside plus 470. That might be worth a sprinkle.
All his fights.
He's bad, but he likes to throw punches.
I don't hate that under. Was that 1.5 or 2.5?
Oh no, it was under. It was minus 205. That doesn't go to decision. I'm going to put it in a parlay.
Oh, parlay. You parlay
you can play under 1.5.
Yep.
Wes.
Yeah, I don't have too much on this fight. If anything, I would play the dog. Or the dog inside the distance. I don't think this fight goes 15 minutes, but the under's kind of juice for me. So definitely going to pick the dog and Tout Master and maybe sprinkle on him inside the distance.
Bradley?
I'm definitely taking the shot on Charlie Antojitos. I mean, it's a great appetizer. It's delicious.
Samsonite.
And
Oh,
I'll probably do it round one because usually when he wins, he wins real early. You've got a former welterweight who has power against a former bantamweight who can't wrestle and doesn't have a submission game. So I think it's going to be on the feet early. And Ontiveros round one plus 1100. I'll
1100.
probably give that a little sprinkle.
Where are you right now? And are you stealing your neighbor's internet?
He's in the
Oh,
backyard. Needs the
Remember when-
extender.
Do you remember when Sean was in the podcast and half the podcast would just be crickets?
Yeah, because he had to go outside and just rip darts.
That man
all
would
night long.
he would smash like 17 heaters, and like he smokes more than he doesn't smoke. Like, yeah, it was like I worked with this one guy in baseball when I was working in Columbus, this huge redneck, and the guy literally had a dip in like all day, every day. Like I think he dipped like 3 cans a day, and he used to just have this big dip and just marching around and be like, "This is that bullshit we're talking about." And he would just walk around and just yell bullshit, and he was a good dude. Miss him. I got nothing on this fight. I think Garcia is the most likely winner. Ontiveros is really, really not good. But I hope you hit your bet, Brett. If I do bet on this, it'd be some kind of doesn't go in a parlay or under, but possibly nothing. All right. Women's strawweight. Lupita Godinez versus Silviana Gomez Juarez. I'm out. You, Sean?
Yeah, late notice for the old Juarez. Going to a split decision against Jessica Penne, coming off a 5-year layoff, that is not a good look. You could not pay me to bet this fight. I will pick Juarez in the old Toutmaster and hopefully a dog barks because, yeah, Lupita going to a split and losing to Jessica Penne is terrible.
Wesley?
Yeah, I'm not touching this fight. I'll take the dog and Toutmaster because, like Sean said, I'm fading anybody that loses this season to Jessica Penne at this point. So yeah, the dog, but no bet whatsoever from me.
Brad?
Oh, I'm still. Oh no, I'm not. I thought I was. How's the we doing?
You're worse. I don't know. It's worse. I'm not worse.
He went inside.
Is your router outside?
Maybe. You actually connect to the extender because I've got an extender that goes out like the backyard because we've got another building out there.
Well, it's working pretty good.
All right. This one person who just came into the fight is 36, so that always bodes well.
Prime.
But just judging by the pictures on Tapology, I'm going to go with the underdog.
Bad. I have no.
Tapping right there, baby.
I have no comment. I'll move on. Featherweight division: Charles Rosa, Damon Jackson. You, Sean?
I think this should be a fun fight. Rose is usually in fairly fun fights when he's not just getting absolutely embarrassed on the ground. Damon Jackson is pretty good on the ground. I don't know if he's up to the echelon that can just absolutely smother Rosa. So this should spend some time on the feet, and then it kind of gets a little bit interesting. I'll probably pick Jackson. I think his wrestling probably is decent enough to get Rosa down a couple times. I don't think he finds a sub. Rosa is obviously a very good black belt, just with some shitty wrestling. So I think he survives. I think this goes to decision. I played it for 2 units at -145, so hopefully nobody gets finished.
Wes?
Yeah, I kind of feel like if the Leech can get some takedowns in this fight, he could probably grind out a decision here. Just I don't know, man. Some fights Rosa can keep fights up, and he's decent on the feet. I think Leech is kind of slow. Got some okay hands. I think it's close on the feet if it stays there and Rosa keeps it up. But can he? Is Leech that great of a wrestler? Does he go for takedowns that much in fights? Seems like he stands a lot with guys that stand and strike with him. I'm probably gonna pick Rosa here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna bet it. I just for some reason see this fight staying on the feet, and Rosa's hands are fairly decent. I think he can keep it close on the feet. If Leech does get some takedowns here, we've seen Rosa get taken down quite a bit in some fights. Sean's right; he's got really good defensive grappling off his back and stuff. So I don't see Leech getting a finish. So yeah, it probably goes to a decision. I'm gonna pick Rosa though. I think he can keep it on the feet and take a close decision.
Brad?
So Wes, these fights that you've seen where Rosa's kept it on his feet, has his opponent gone for a takedown?
Relatively gone on stayed on. Only when guys stand and strike with him. If you go for takedowns usually on Rosa, you're gonna get him. You're gonna get him.
Yeah.
But Leech ain't like some great. He's fought better wrestlers a lot than what Damon Jackson is. Like
He's a horrible
and
wrestler.
he's gotten taken down by all of them too.
yeah.
I like if you want to take Rosa down, you're gonna get him down, and if you get Rosa down, you're gonna be on top of him for the rest of the round because he's an idiot who's just gonna try and throw up back rather than getting back up to his feet. So even though Jackson wants to get a submission and will probably be a little bit more aggressive, and that might actually leave some openings for Rosa to get up, I think that he's him for at least two. And Rosa will probably win the striking. I just don't trust him to not spend time back in this fight. So
We got a few of those words.
Brad's internet is mailing it in.
It's like you're using my computer from when everything was fucked up. I like Rosa in this one. So Rosa has never been submitted in his career, and Damon Jackson has only won by decision once in his entire career. He usually goes for the sub, and he either gets it or he loses. Nothing really in between. He's not a grind it out for 15 minutes kind of guy, and I think Jackson's wrestling is really bad. I think Rosa can keep it standing a little bit. He will get taken down, but I think he can survive on the ground. He can be active on the ground. He can get up, and then I think in the feed he can win. I think he can land better strikes, and I think at this price, I think Rosa's worth it. And I just don't see if I was into betting overs or goes to decision. I think this one's more than likely going to go to decision. And I think the line's pretty close, but I like Rosa on this one. I think at plus like 160 or so, I think he's worth what is he, 160? Yeah, he's at the 160. I think he's worth a stab here. Damon Jackson is not good. He's not a good fighter.
Decision.
Rosa's not good either, but
by decision plus 315.
Rosa's due for a loss. He alternates wins and losses, and
he does. He does, but I might take a little stabby here. All right, heavyweight division: Alexander Romanov versus Jared Vanderaa. Jesus, this card.
Brad, I don't know if you can hear me, but I have two questions for you.
I can hear you guys fine the whole time.
Okay, well, that's good. So my question is, did Boston Pizza invent Vanderaa bread? And my second question is, do the two other guys on this podcast know what Vanderaa bread is?
Nope.
I'm going to say yes and no.
Nothing.
So I guess you're really alienating the podcast viewers with your name to only Canadians. And
are you talking about like poutine or something?
No, just an appetizer.
The bread.
It's
garlic
nothing
bread
special.
in the shape of
It is.
pizza.
Yeah, it's very good tasting though.
Yeah.
As for this fight, I mean, Romanov should win. I don't think Vanderaa is very good. Romanov has not looked that great when he's got some guys down. He struggled in mount and in a couple scenarios. I don't know. Can Vanderaa survive for 7.5 minutes? I think that's the way to play this fight. I'm probably just going to stay away. I'll pick Romanov to get the sub, hopefully shortly after 7.5 minutes.
Wes, I don't like these.
We're getting a true fatties at plus money.
Truly,
Plus money.
With
truly fatties.
a fat fucking Russian that can't barely finish anybody. And one dude that's pretty shitty, but you know what? He's tough as hell, man. He will take an absolute beating. That's the kind of guys I want when I'm getting a true fatty. So I'm absolutely on this over at plus money. And man, I see like everybody on the planet parlaying Romanov inside the distance. I'm not so sure about that. I think this is one of those heavyweight fights where we could see Romanov struggling to get some takedowns, getting them, laying on top, just being fat. Romanov by decision at plus 475. I'm probably going to take a small little sprinkle on that, and I'm definitely playing the over 1.5.
Yeah, Brad, you going to bet the mountain?
Am I coming through clear?
Yes.
Yeah, you seem a
Got to
little
be clear for fatties talk, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Nice. This is the only fight that matters. I mean, absolutely fatties here. 100% fatties. I mean, not even a question.
They're fat.
Yes. Stroganov sucks. He carb loads before every fight. You can tell he burns it off in those first couple minutes, and then there's a big struggle. And Vanderaa bread, he carb loads too. You know, you can tell you got the jiggle going on, the nice little belly. So he gasses after the first 3 minutes, and then it's just going to be two fat, sweaty guys just holding each other up against the cage in this one. It's what you love to see.
The slot.
True 1.5 at plus money with these two motherfuckers. Like, this is what you dream about.
You guys do. What's the what's the line?
Like plus 130 or something now.
On 1.5?
Yeah. Dude, we've seen this over and over with heavyweights nowadays. Two fat dudes that can't finish anybody laying on each other. Guys,
I've never done it.
So I wanted to make sure that the internet worked, but the number of times that Vanderaa bread has been finished under 1.5 in his career, bagel.
0.
Putting
Nothing.
that to the test.
But what if he just takes Romanov
Out.
straight to death? You know?
Nah. Romanov's tough.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. He's not also a big finisher himself. So I'm feeling confident about fatties in this one. Might be my only real bet of the card.
I don't hate. Are you guys all on fatties?
Of course.
I didn't touch it, but
I mean, you
I've
ought
never-
to just bet it, and let's make this the consensus
you don't
for
bet
the first
overs.
time.
I don't bet
thought that was the
over.
rule.
Let's do a fatty consensus first time on the show.
Does that
Lock
mean
it
I
in.
have to bet it?
plus 130 something? Like, come on, a true 1.5 with these two bozos? Like,
Can I do like
seriously.
a half bet?
Yeah.
Just a unit?
Plus
Sure.
132.
All right,
Whoa.
fine. I will do fatties. It's gonna lose
Woo!
4
Found a
seconds.
consensus.
It's
This
gonna
is
be-
what happened last week, and it worked out.
It's gonna be 4 seconds, and then it's gonna be over. 4
Instant.
seconds. All right.
Four
Final prelim,
glorious
bantamweight division.
seconds.
Chris Gutiérrez versus Felipe Corrales. Nushan.
Felipe Corrales is bad. Getting dropped by Luke the Mook Sanders. Being in a competitive fight against Luke the Mook Sanders is not a great look. I don't think Gutiérrez is that special. I mean, I guess his win against Ewell is not terrible, but I don't think many of us think much of Andre Ewell anyway. The calf kicks, man. Lance is gonna hate it. Brad's gonna hate it. I think.
No, I'm down
Gutierrez
for
is
this
gonna...
fight. Let's do it. Let's dance.
Oh, now he's in on it. Now he wants it. So now, of course, he's
Brad's
not
the
gonna
same
do
way.
it.
They love it when it's to their advantage.
Yeah. Now that Lance is gonna bet on Gutierrez and want them calf kicks, you know he's not gonna do it. But I'm trying to find something for a parlay piece. I don't. There's some interesting characters out on the internets putting big bets on some Romanov and Gutierrez back to back. So that is concerning.
Oh, that is very concerning.
Wes?
Yeah, I like Gutierrez here too. Sean's right. He's gonna use the leg kicks. He actually does it fairly well. Like you hate him or not, he uses them very well in fights. So, yeah, I like him in a spot. I like him as a parlay piece. Probably see him just kind of, box him up, leg kicking his way to a pretty wide decision here. I'm going to parlay him with something. I haven't finalized all my bets yet, though. But Gutierrez would definitely be in a parlay. I like him to win a decision here.
Brad?
I'm sure Sean talked about leg kicks or calf kicks and all that bullshit, and that's exactly why I can't trust Gutierrez. If somebody relies on calf kicks as their number one weapon, they suck.
Does it well, though?
If somebody can't defend calf kicks, they suck. So both these
so they
guys
deserve
suck.
it.
Both these guys suck.
Yeah, but you made a good point. Felipe sucks, so therefore your bet should be Gutierrez.
It probably should be. But I have principles, Lance, so I'm not going to do that.
That's two fat slobs to slob on each other. Next fight, I got principles, no calf kicks.
Gutierrez is like the Barbosa of leg kicks in the calf, though. Like, he throws really hard, painful calf kicks, which I hate. Don't like calf kicks. And I think to your point, Brad, good people don't lose by calf kick. You just don't. You just go through it. You do it. But Corral sucks. Gutierrez doesn't. He's got good leg kicks.
Or is it Corrales or Colares?
Who cares?
Yeah, either way, he almost lost a round 3 to Mook Sanders.
He retired, RIP.
That's inexcusable shit.
Gutierrez round 3 is a pretty big price.
17-1.
That's not too bad.
Not bad. That's when the leg kicks come in. I'll have Gutierrez in parlay. Actually, I already bet a couple fights. I bet a Gutierrez parlay and then another fight later. Bet the rest later. Midway division, Phil Small Hogs versus Deron Winn. New Sean?
Midget hog.
Midget hog? Big hog versus little hog.
Kind of been on a roller coaster with old Phil Hogs. We were pumping his tires and then probably way too far down on him, and now he's fighting everybody's favorite 5'2" middleweight.
Now, mind you, our earlier discussion, Kyle Dawkins sucks.
Maybe in hindsight, that's not the greatest win.
Kyle Dawkins sucks. He can't out-wrestle Holland. Don't forget. People don't forget that.
I think for the most part, I think this fight is going to stay on the feet. Deron Winn is fairly good at stopping takedowns. He's also pretty good at taking an ass whooping. I know the guys that he's fought probably don't have the power that the Phil Hogs has, but I mean, Phil, he wasn't able to finish the last 2 guys, so maybe that power is a little bit overstated. I know knocking out something called Bestiev and Robert Whitaker's BJJ coach is a pretty big deal, but I think this fight goes to decision. I just played it small. It is kind of sketchy with Winn kind of gassing out kind of quick and Hawes having some big power. So I only played it for 1 unit at plus 125. Man, Deron Winn is a 5'5" middleweight. That is, I know that's a big number on Hawes.
Legit, dude. Come on.
I don't think I can pick Winn to win.
Wes?
Yeah, like, come on, man. Are we serious here? These next 2 bozos about to tell you that this 5'5" midget is really gonna stay. It's gonna be on the feet. Like Winn is not taking Hawes down. Winn's good enough. Lance is right. His wrestling's very, very good. Hawes isn't taking him down, but he's a 5'5" midget. You think he's gonna stand on the feet and outstrike Phil Hawes for 15 minutes? The third might get kind of. I don't even think the third you're gonna be worrying about Hawes at this point. Winn doesn't look good in third rounds either. Like, he's fucking 5'5", 185 pounds. He doesn't have like the great cardio either here. I think Hawes is going to win this fight. I think he's going to win a wide decision on Winn here. I don't know if Hawes gets him out of there. I think the power is a little questionable. I don't think he's got some big knockout power or anything, but I think he's going to win a fairly easy striking match here. I like Hawes. I put him in a parlay.
Brad?
So, Lance, do you think it's just because they don't understand wrestling, or they're not short enough, or what don't they understand about this fight? Because Winn's the better wrestler. He's got the lower center of gravity.
He ain't taking him down. Come on.
He's lower to the ground.
Exactly. It's
ankle
perfect.
picks. Ankle picks.
Yeah.
Ankle bites all day. I think this fight is actually going to be competitive. First round, Hogs. And if he doesn't get Winn out of there in the first round, I think it's going to get very interesting. I'm not sure that Winn is going to be able to take Hogs down in this one, but there's going to be a whole lot of them being up against the cage, and I'm interested to see who wins that battle. And I think it could be Winn. I think he can control some position here and grind out some clock and take a decision in this one. I don't think that based on Hogs getting a win over a guy who looked terrible against Kevin Holland, had terrible cardio against him, somehow means that he's a guy that can now go into the second and third rounds of fights and actually do things. So I'm willing to take the shot on Winn in this one. I think it's plus 260 straight and plus 550 by decision. I think both of those have a little play here.
Winn was getting his shit pieced up by a dude, something called Arroyo in his last fight. Like, come on, man.
No, he wasn't.
He won. He's a winner.
He won. He won the
fight. He got
fight.
pieced up by Eric Spicely.
Spicely. I mean, we saw this fight. Darren Stewart out wrestling him. Like, come on, man.
Darren Stewart.
This is the new. This is the new win. This man beat Zahid. You can't forget that. Zahid Valencia. He teched him. That's all that matters. That's the only way to break down.
Nobody knows.
That is all that matters.
Nobody knows what that
wrestling thing.
You guys don't know about Zahid Valencia? Nothing?
Noobs.
He's won the last 2 NCAA championships. Arizona State, nothing. One of the best wrestlers in the world. And then I think he got kicked out of school. I don't know what he did. He's a bit of a lunatic. He didn't wrestle last year. I don't know why. He was back-to-back defending champion at 184, and then he didn't wrestle last year. I think
I bet you that guy could kick Deron Winn's ass in a real fight.
Maybe. He couldn't in freestyle. What happened to Zahid? I remember I read it and then I forgot. I don't remember what he did. Probably drugs or something.
The Hogs got revoked, Jason Lowe. He's asking about the Hog-analysis on this matchup here.
Yeah, but I think this is where you got to think about
a fire hydrant.
Yeah, well, I think this is the common argument. Do you want long or do you want fat?
Yeah, right.
So I like Winn here. If this fight was to pick him, I'm not betting Winn. I think at plus 260 versus. I think Hogs is still an average fighter. I think we're putting a lot of. Don't forget, we all bet Kyle Dawkins to out wrestle and beat Phil Hogs not too long ago. That same Kyle Dawkins couldn't take down Kevin Holland without headbutting his ass to get him to the ground. Is Hogs good or does Dawkins sucks? I think it's Dawkins sucks. I think Hogs is who we originally thought he was when he was gassing out and all kinds of, whatever. And I like Winn here. I like him to get takedowns. I like him to make it dirty. I like him to survive the first round. He can take a shot, and I think he gets more takedowns. I think this is a boring fight that's going to be mostly wrestling, and I'll take the wrestler at plus 260. This is Munich. Munich. We didn't have a Munich until 10 seconds before the show.
Plus 260 Munich.
We couldn't.
Good luck, sirs. As long as it goes decision, I don't care.
Good luck.
You guys should watch the Heat
Good luck with
Valencia
your
videos.
your horse jockey.
You guys should watch some Valencia videos too.
I'm pretty sure Valencia is taller than Hawes. So
Valencia is
isn't
a
even
giant. Yeah, I
exactly.
forget why he didn't wrestle last year. Maybe steroids. Yeah, that was right. I don't know.
Smart man.
Something happened. Valencia is tall as shit. He's really. How tall is Hawes?
He's like 5'9" or something. He's not tall.
Valencia's is definitely got to be
5'11".
Valencia's got to be over
That's
6
why.
foot. But Valencia's badass. I don't know what he's doing, but he also. I mean, Winn beat Pat Downey. There's a big list there. He's got the credentials. Saying it's a lock. All right. Do we even want to talk about this Mazo Agapova fight? Is that a thing?
I got nothing. I
Nothing.
have absolutely nothing.
Well, supposedly she got kicked out of her gym because she was on drugs or something, and then she was also stalking one of her teammates' wives. And people are concerned about this. This is making me want to back her more.
No, yeah, you want to bet
Because
somebody
she's
like
in
that.
Florida, so obviously she was high on meth. So she's training like 23 hours a day, and the other hour
Which shit are you
she's
talking about?
trying to assert dominance by stalking guys as chicks that she wants to intimidate.
Did you
so
see
she
her
can-
new look?
No,
Blonde. She dyed her hair blonde, and it looks like this blonde wig. And our buddy Magic Man goes, "What's she trying to be, Carmela Soprano?" And when you look at the pic, it's a solid comment. You should check it out. She looks crazy. She looks like the
I mean she's
scorned-
on meth.
She was like the scorned chick from those Lifetime movies. Like, don't fuck with her. She's probably gonna kill
I
us.
know she's probably gonna fuck up Sabina Mazo.
Oh God. All right, we'll move on. What's the line on this? What is crazy? Lifetime?
Crazy Lady's plus 158.
What's a Sabina Mazo? Do I know her?
She lost
I
to
mean, you
Alexis
should.
Davis.
She's on a main card UFC.
She lost to Alexis Davis.
Last time,
Yeah.
yes,
And she's
that is
favored?
correct, sir.
So
I mean, Agapova lost
the
to
crazy
Shayna
one-
Dobson.
No. You're framing this all wrong, Sean. You're framing it all wrong. The crazy one went from like minus 1,200,
Yeah.
and now she's an underdog to a chick that lost to Alexis Davis.
Are we
I mean-
betting? Crazy Lady.
I mean, this
Obvious.
card is bad enough that it might be worth a
Really?
sprinkle.
She beat
Yeah.
Shockwave.
Oh,
That's
shit,
true.
Yeah.
That's a
an-
true test right there.
That's
So-
a Tucker. That's an
When I-
auto bet right there, baby.
When I was clicking through, I couldn't even believe this. Maybe I forgot about it. So Cypher's our girl Shockwave. She had lost 4 in a row. Did you know she had a 5th fight scheduled?
Yep.
And then it got canceled. So they're gonna let her lose 5 in a row. I mean, that's Shockwave. All right,
Everybody
yeah.
wants to fight.
I'm going to bet Agapova. It's going to happen. Maybe it's the Seltzers talking. I don't know. Let's move to the flyweight division. They got Tim Elliott taking on Matthias Nicolau. You, Sean?
Yeah, I think this is a fairly close fight. Tim Elliott, obviously, he for the most part goes for broke with takedowns. I mean, he's been a little bit better since having Krause as his head coach, but Nicolau hasn't really fought any really good wrestlers, so it's hard to know exactly how good his takedown defense is. I think if he can stuff some takedowns, get Elliott tired a bit, I think he can take over in the second half of this fight. So I'll pick Nicolau, but I don't really want to have a bet on this fight.
Wes?
Yeah, I don't think Nicolau's fought any good wrestlers, like guys that you think they have good wrestling. Back in Moraga and Dustin Ortiz and guys like that, and they end up just striking with him. Ortiz got him out of there when he was on that run. And I mean, say what you will about Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott can get the takedowns. His problem always was is he was always trying to pull something off and giving up so much position. He hasn't been doing that since he's been training with Cross. So I think he can get some takedowns here. And I think if he does get takedowns, Tim Elliott's a whole lot more about control now on the mat. If he fights like he did in that last one when he was on the mat, I like him quite a bit. I still think Tim Elliott's really talented, man. I just think he's one of those guys that needed to get the right kind of camp and coaching. So I'm gonna bank on that here too. I mean, at some plus money against a guy that I think might be good, but hasn't really fought anybody at this point. I think I'm gonna take a small shot on Timmy Elliott here.
Brad?
Tim Elliott he's all right. He's fun from time to time. He's never actually beaten anybody good. He had one good round against Demetrius Johnson and got his ass kicked for 20 minutes. And he's been living off of that and beating the occasional Mark De La Rosa or Ryan Benoit or who was the last guy that we bet on Elliott against? We couldn't believe he was even money against him at Espinoza. He beats all of those guys. Nicolau, I think, is actually a good fighter. He was one of those victims of the UFC trying to get rid of the flyweight division, and he never should have been cut in the division in the first place. He's got skills everywhere. He's a better striker than Tim Elliott by a big margin. He's a more dangerous submission threat than Elliott, and we know that Elliott, he will stick his head into guillotines and play with fire a little bit on the ground. So I don't think that Nicolau is going to win by submission here, but there's certainly the possibility. And honestly, Elliott isn't he's not really a great wrestling himself, and Nicolau can throw some takedowns in there on his own. So I think that this is a more competitive wrestling match than you guys think it'll be. But everywhere else, I think Nicolau has big advantages. So I know the price is big. I'm not playing it. I understand why people are playing Elliott, but I can't justify that. I think Nicolau is going to miss on the feet enough and work his way to a decision.
Yeah, I like Elliott. Opposite of what everything Brad said, he's wrong. I think Elliott's the much better wrestler here. I think he's going to work to get takedowns constantly. His pressure is endless. And I think, there's two ways to look at Elliott. He beat nobody good, or he beat everyone he was supposed to and lost to the guys he was supposed to, and we know his place in the division. And that's okay. This is not the kind of guy he's lost to in the past. This is the kind of guy he's beat. He has a wrestling advantage. He has a cardio advantage. He has a lunatic advantage because he's just a fucking nut job. And I think the Krause thing has been good in his career. I think where we talked about Johnny Walker and what made him so good was his pressure and him being a lunatic. That's actually what hurt Tim Elliott in the past. Was he was too crazy. He was taking risks that weren't leading to finishes. He was just taking risks to take lists, like outside of the random guillotine he might have got. And I just think this is going to be Tim Elliott just being the better grappler, and I think he's going to dictate where the fight goes at plus 160, all over it. Love Tim Elliott here, so he is going to be a bet. Yay. Go Tim Elliott. All right, co-main event, not kidding. Jared Gooden rocking out the co-main versus Randy fucking Brown. Man, that's new, Sean. Jared Gooden, main event, followed by Carlos Felipe versus Andre Arlovski next week. We are here.
Man. This is a fucking bad co-main event. The line should be wider. I guess some people are impressed by Gooden knockout last time. That guy is not very good. I don't think Gooden's that good. Randy Brown has fought a lot better fighters than Jared Gooden and done well against a bunch of them. I think on this feet, Gooden has a chance to knock him out, but more likely Brown's gonna jab the shit out of him and might even throw something heavy and get him out of there. If this goes a little longer, I could see Gooden gassing and Brown even getting him down in the third, and then doing some damage on the ground, maybe grabbing a sub. I'm not sure, but I think Brown should win this fight. Gooden's got a puncher's chance. That's all.
Yep. Wes.
Yeah, I like Randy Brown quite a bit in this fight. Honestly, I think he's way better than Gooden. Like Sean's right, Gooden's got a slight puncher's chance here, but I mean, even that's slim with the way Randy Brown fights. Like the dude uses his jab, like Sean said, very well. It's linked very well. I mean, the competition, the level of competition he's fought is just a completely different level than Gooden here. Yeah, I just think Randy Brown's the way better fighter. Yeah, I got him parlayed a couple of different ways, one with Hawes and some other stuff. Also, I could see Randy Brown getting some takedowns here in this fight. He can get guys down. He's got some okay wrestling, and he can pull off subs from time to time, man. So I'm gonna sprinkle on sub. I think it's around plus 400 still right now. So I like Randy Brown quite a bit. Sprinkle on sub.
Brad.
Yeah, not really a whole lot to add here, except I think we can go back to calling Brohug's boy Jared Batten because he stinks. He's not good. It's kind of ridiculous that he's somehow in a co-main event, and it's not a rescheduled fight. Hey, that's the management company's working out after all, I guess.
And now that he's all in, you know, he's not trying to tout anymore because he gave all the money to the listeners that he could.
That's right.
Gooden's on the track, man.
Yeah, I like Brown. I've been trying to find something to parlay with him. I really don't want to bet Gutiérrez, but Brown and Gutiérrez is plus money. Brown and the over 1.5 in Winn is plus money. Might be what there's a couple different options. Maybe the over 1.5 in Jackson Rosa. That should be pretty easy, and it's probably right around plus money as well.
Yeah, I like Brown a good bit here. I think he's better everywhere. I think there could be some moments on the feet that we might get a little worried about, but the wrestling advantage is there. The jiu-jitsu advantage is there. I kind of like that, the idea of him by sub. I think he's gonna stay on the feet until he gets hit. If he gets hit a little bit, I think Brown's gonna think he's not a dumb fighter. He's had some dumb moments in the past and more caught in weird shit than dumb moments, maybe I would say. But I think he knows that he can get this fight to the ground when he wants. He's going to do so. I think this is just overmatched. This doesn't make any sense. Brown is a good fighter. Gooden is a bad fighter. So them fighting in the main event is weird, especially after Brown's coming off a finish. It doesn't make sense, but it's always good to get a quick win. So I like Brown here. I have him parlay with Gutiérrez.
Gooden's training with bro. It's like, man, you might want to bring in some slightly better training partners.
I haven't been to a gym.
You need.
I haven't been to a gym since 03, but I'll gladly fight Bro Hugs, no problem.
I've already
Gotta watch out for that arm bar.
I've already seen Bro Hugs roll.
Well, you know my move,
you
right?
Looking
Sean?
for a mustache ride, Lance?
Well, but you know my move. Anytime I would fight this, it's double leg to the rape choke. That's my go-to with guys like this. You just double leg straight to the rape choke. I mean, you think guys have seen these? Oh, hello.
That's a finisher.
Hello.
That's a finisher.
Yep, double to rape choke. How come we don't see the rape choke in like WMA more? Like, I feel like that could get some finishes. Not gonna lie. I feel like that's level.
It's the likely transition after the arm bar from guard.
Yeah, the rape choke, the double leg to rape choke. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna really promote this double leg to rape choke.
Open a gym, Lance. Open a gym.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some gyms in Nashville. I think Michael Chandler, when he's not quarantining,
The views, on,
is probably practicing around here. And
the views on the pod are just going to skyrocket when you're out promoting the double leg to the rape choke.
double leg to rape choke. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's okay. All right. Women's strawweight division main event. Always a good sign. Marina Rodriguez, had to look her up. Forgot who she was versus Mackenzie Dern. All right, Nushan, let's go.
Yeah, I'll be quick. Dern had 0 takedowns until the last fight. I guess she's basically only gone for 1 takedown and got one before that, but she somehow gets subs because this is women's MMA and fighters seem to do dumb things and put themselves in very bad situations when they fight Mackenzie Dern. Could Rodriguez do that? It's possible. I mean, Ribas was able to get her down and smother her in the first round. I don't think Dern has the takedowns of Ribas, so I don't know how it gets there. Mackenzie Dern round 1 sub is like plus 450. It's probably not a terrible bet, but this is women's MMA, so I mean she could follow into a sub in the second or third. You never know. This might look a lot like the Ribas fight, where against Dern, Rodriguez could just jab her way, and Dern could get tired, and it could just be a boring jab fest. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I'll probably pick the dog just because it's a women's fight, and that's usually what I do.
Wes.
Yeah, I don't have much to add besides what Sean said. I think he broke it down about as well as he could. Does Dern get her down in the first round and get the sub? I mean, it's kind of the question here. I think if she doesn't, she will start getting tired. We've seen her get really gassy in past fights and get pieced up on the feet. So that happens. Rodriguez can absolutely jab the shit out of her. I guess I'll pick the dog too, but I'm probably not going to bet this fight.
Yep, Brad.
Yeah, Dern is not good. She can grapple, and being extremely one-dimensional works in these divisions. And maybe she can do that in the first round. If she can't, though, I think she's in trouble. And Rodriguez has been in there with better wrestlers than Dern and managed to work her way back up to the feet. She's been in there with not better submission grapplers, but decent submission grapplers and managed not to get submitted. So I think she'll avoid getting finished here. And at some point over 5 rounds, this is going to be 5 rounds.
5 rounds, baby.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Can Dern survive
I
if she
didn't
doesn't
realize
get the
that
sub?
shit.
Yeah, I think that Rodriguez is going to tire her out and start to take over. But honestly, I'm probably not going to be watching at that point. I don't care.
We're gonna. This is an early card. My God, I was thinking we got fucking
Time.
Fury and Wilder Saturday night. Like, nope, this is an early card. So
How early is it starting? I'm playing golf.
It's Thanksgiving up here, so there's going to be people over here.
Thanksgiving's
So.
next month, Fred.
yeah,
No,
there's
it's Saturday.
No, this
Here's
is the
some
real
Monday,
one.
but
Oh. I'm playing golf at like 8:30, I think. So I won't be home till like.
I don't
1.
even know what time the card starts, dude. I have no idea.
It starts. I'm looking now. It starts at 12:30. Oh no, I'll miss the Steve Garcia fight in the
prelims.
Loopy Gonzalez.
Oh,
fight.
Prelims start at 1:30
It's like an
p.m.
early card.
Yeah,
Wow.
12:30 for me.
Gross.
Yep. The card sucks. I'm gonna force a lot of bets on it though,
Do it.
Yep,
just to be safe.
I always do it too. That's
Yeah. I'm gonna go out there and just like break 80 though. Like no big deal. All right, where are we at?
That's
me?
it.
Jeez.
Is it me?
Yeah.
That's well, it's you. Yes. What
5
do you
rounds.
have on this tremendous main
Hit a
event?
real
I like
high
Dern,
note.
man. I like
Oh,
Dern here.
shit.
I think she's got the way to dictate where the fight goes. Get a takedown, submit her. That's a wrap. Don't hate that sub 1. that seems to be the likely outcome. Maybe to save a couple shekels for my Jewish friends. Maybe I'll just play it smaller and do that round one sub and just say fuck it. And that way, if it doesn't happen, I can be like, oh, see you later. So yeah, I don't hate that. So yeah, and enjoyed the show this week. I like talking shop with you guys when we don't have to talk about horrible fights, either past, present, or future. Which consistent, terrible, past, present, future. We'll be back next week, maybe. I don't know.
It's
I can't.
bad.
I mean,
It's a banger next week.
I'm going to Vegas for like 5.5 days, and that Friday is kind of hard to be like, hey, gotta do the podcast.
Honestly, the main event next week is so much worse, and the co-main event very bad.
Yeah.
But at least there's a couple of fights on the card next week that I'm kind of interested in seeing.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Juarez, Landwehr getting blown up.
I'm gonna try to hang out with Nate Landwehr over the weekend in person, like the craps tables.
Watch the knees.
Yeah, me and Nate we're gonna take Vegas down. Oh, and you see, Aaron Watershore is gonna be in Vegas when I am too. So we're gonna hang out.
That'll be fun.
They're not gonna have a seltzer left in Vegas.
He's been tweeting Circa every day, like talking shit, and they've been responding. And today he was like, "I need to know the seltzer menu ahead of time." Or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go crush some, and I pinged Dan. Gonna try to meet up with Dan Tom too on there. So yeah, should be good. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys next week. I hope you guys
can do a guest appearance on UFC on the line.
We what?
Yeah, you should
see if you can do a guest appearance on UFC on the line.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm busy that day.
Guest host.
Yeah, pass. They can't afford my fees. Anyway, we will talk to you guys later. I hope you guys don't catch the fights this weekend because you had something better to do. So appreciate it. See you next week, maybe.